Hi and welcome. I'm Chris Parry from Stockhouse.com. I'm here at the Cambridge House Canadian Investment Conference in lovely downtown Vancouver, and we're talking to Michael Volker, the chairman of GreenAngel Energy Corp. Michael's been around the tech industry in Canada for a while, and he's got an interesting play. Michael, why don't you tell us about the company?
We are the first publicly traded angel fund, and by that I mean we're basically an angel capital pool that invests in green energy technologies, energy managing, energy monitoring, anything to do with GHG emission reductions and that sort of thing.
So why don't you go into a little detail about the opportunities within your portfolio?
Yes, one of the companies that we're involved with is called Matza Innovation, and they're doing some very novel work with phytochemical extraction. This involves taking good things out of plants, nutraceuticals, cosmeceuticals, pharmaceuticals, but doing it in an environmentally friendly way. Right now, it's a very toxic process. Organic solvents have to be used to do these kinds of extractions. And with Matza, there's a patented technology that basically involves water only as the solvent, and so that's environmentally very safe, but it's also very inexpensive. So they're able to extract compounds at premium prices with really good gross margins.
So a lot of companies in the tech sector haven't necessarily married to the public space too easily. The public market is looking for ongoing news and stock price increases. How do you marry the public sector and your essentially private angel?
Well, there's on the investor side, there's a lot of interest from private investors, angel type investors, high net worth individuals, and they've been basically supporting the sector. The general public has not been that active because there haven't been a lot of IPOs and public offerings. But I think we're going to see that change a little bit because we've got some really exciting companies, and instead of them selling out and being acquired, we have some that want to build, sustainable large businesses in their own right. And we need that here in British Columbia. We need some of these companies to grow and become large rather than just get to a point and then sell out.
So a lot of time in tech, the retail sector, they're looking for the next Google. They're not necessarily looking for a company that's going to generate consistent profits. They're looking for the big explosion. How are you dealing with that sort of preconception?
Well, to be realistic, there are a lot of companies that will produce payouts that are very substantial, but not as dramatic as the ones we hear about, not your Twitters and Facebooks and Googles. But having a company produce a $50 million or $100 million payout to investors is in its own very exciting. And that's really the space where we operate. And the risks and the odds are much lower in that sector. There's a pretty good chance that some of these companies will at least make it to that stage of development and then be acquired by a company like Google, for example.
So obviously it's difficult for people to have a diversified portfolio of private companies. This, I guess, is where you come in.
Exactly. So we have a portfolio of companies. We know that some of them aren't going to make it, but we also expect a few of them in the portfolio to produce very large payouts, and then overall that'll give us and our investors a good return on capital. We're acquiring interests in more companies, and we're acquiring them at very low valuations because we get in on the ground floor. And so we are usually the first investors in. We also help the companies raise capital from our network of investors, and that really gets them launched. So our game plan over the next couple of years is to increase our portfolio, develop it, work with the companies, and produce some returns that can then be reinvested as opposed to flowing out to the shareholders. That capital will stay in the company, and theoretically the company will grow and grow and grow, and we can reinvest that capital in promising new ventures.
If somebody wants more information on GreenAngel Energy Corp, where should they turn?
Our website pretty well tells the story, and it also gives information on the companies. It's www.greenangelenergy.ca.
Thank you very much, Michael.